Don't come home. Your sister doesn't want you there. Those words hit me harder than I ever expected. Not because I didn't have a relationship with my sister, but because they came from my parents, the people who were supposed to protect me. I was 17, full of teenage mistakes, yes, but full of hope too. And suddenly, I wasn't wanted. Growing up, I was always the other one. Not the perfect child, not the favorite, not the one who could do anything right. My sister, she got all the praise, all the opportunities. Even the smallest victories were celebrated for her, ignored for me. And my parents, they didn't hide it. Every achievement I had was met with, "Why can't you be more like your sister? Maybe this isn't your path. Don't embarrass yourself." I learned early, my worth was measured by comparison. By high school, the dynamic became impossible. My sister got invitations to every party, every family trip, every milestone. And me? I got silence, or worse, exclusion. The words echoed in my head that day. Don't come home. Your sister doesn't want you there. I begged. I pleaded. I tried to explain myself. I tried to be the child they wanted, but it never worked. The day I left home, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I walked out quietly, packed my things, and for the first time, I made a decision. A decision to never let anyone treat me like I was less again. I promised myself, one day, I would come back. But not as the excluded child, as the person who would make them regret it. College, jobs, struggles. I built everything myself, without their approval, without their help. And slowly, quietly, I became the person I always deserved to be. I excelled in my career. I gained respect. I made friends who valued me. And I never forgot the sting of exclusion. Because that sting, it became fuel. Fuel for revenge. Years passed, and then came the day I received the invitation. A wedding invitation to my own wedding, sent by my parents. And the message inside was clear. Your sister doesn't want you there. I smiled, not because it hurt, but because it was the perfect stage for what I had planned. The day of my wedding arrived. Everything was perfect, on the surface. The flowers, the music, the people smiling, unaware of the storm about to unfold. And then, my parents walked in. My father's face stiff. My mother's eyes flicking nervously around the room. They hadn't expected me to accept the invitation. But I had. Not to apologize, not to beg, but to show them exactly what they had done to the wrong person. My sister was waiting, dressed in a stunning gown. But her smile, it didn't reach her eyes. She didn't expect me to be radiant, confident, composed. Her words echoed from years ago. Your sister doesn't want you there. And now, she was forced to see me at the center of attention, not as the excluded child, but as the person she had underestimated. The ceremony began. I walked down the aisle slowly, every step measured. I could feel every eye on me, the whispers, the tension. I smiled softly at my parents and my sister. I said nothing. I didn't need to, because the revenge was in my presence. After the vows, during the reception, I casually mentioned my recent promotion. My spouse shared how much I had built my business from scratch. I thanked guests for attending, letting everyone hear how successful and loved I had become. Every detail was subtle, every statement strategic. My parents' expressions changed. Their pride, the smugness, the superiority evaporated. It was replaced with surprise, recognition, and, unknowingly, regret. My sister came to me later. Her words were clipped, nervous. I didn't think you'd... Her sentence trailed off, and I looked at her, calm and composed. No? You didn't think I'd succeed? I let the question hang, not accusing, just truth. And she realized, quietly, painfully. She had underestimated me. The rest of the evening passed without drama, but the tension never left the room, because revenge had already happened. Not through anger, not through confrontation, but through living my truth. The people who doubted me had no choice but to see my success. And my parents, my sister, they learned that silence, strategy, and patience were more powerful than any argument. The wedding ended, the music faded, and the guests slowly left. But I didn't feel relief. I felt power. My parents sat alone at a corner table. Their eyes avoided mine. The smugness, the superiority, the dismissive smirks, gone. And my sister? She finally understood. She realized that the sibling she had rejected was now unstoppable. Later that evening, my sister came to me. Her voice was low, hesitant. I didn't expect all this. I looked at her calmly. No anger, no gloating, just truth. You said I wasn't wanted. You said I'd never succeed. And yet, here I am. Her silence was deafening. For years, she had believed she was superior, and now the scales had shifted. I walked over to my parents. Their faces were pale. No excuses, no apologies, just the weight of every word they had ever said. I didn't scold them. I didn't yell. I simply smiled. A smile that said, I survived your doubt. I thrived despite it. And that's all the revenge I need. The quietest revenge is living your life so fully that everyone who doubted you sees it. Here's what I learned. 1. Success is the ultimate revenge. 2. Silence can speak louder than anger. 3. Those who doubt you often reveal more about themselves than about you. 4. Your life is yours to build. Don't let anyone define your worth. For anyone listening, for anyone who has been rejected, mocked, or excluded, remember this. Your life is your canvas. Paint it boldly, and let your success be the brushstroke that proves them wrong. That night, as I went to bed, I felt peace. Not from revenge, but from knowing I had taken control of my story. And that, more than anything, is the kind of revenge that lasts.